Hi everyone, welcome back to Visual Scriptures. For those who might be new to this channel, my name is Mark. On this channel, I combine my love for God and filmmaking together to share His word with others. Over the last few videos, we have been exploring the book of Psalms, deconstructing the individual Psalms and seeing how they can relate to our lives today. In doing so, we have been looking at the deeper meanings that we can often miss in our 21st century perspectives. In today's video, we are going to explore Psalm 5. Psalm 5 teaches us two important lessons: the power of words and the power of reliance on God from the very moment you wake up and start your day. So let's jump into it. The title of this psalm is For the Director of Music, for Pipes, a Psalm of David. While this title does not provide us with much insight into the context in which this psalm was written, it does reveal that King David was the author. Psalm 5 is what is known as a Psalm of Lament, which is another way of saying that it is an expression of sorrow and pain, where the psalmist cries out to God for help. Verses 1 to 2 states, "Listen to my words, Lord, consider my lament. Hear my cry for help." In other words, here David is calling out to God while being disturbed by something. So, what is David disturbed by? Verses 4 to 12 reveal that David's focus is on evil people, specifically those who tell lies and are deceitful. Verse 9 states that not a word from their mouth can be trusted. Their heart is filled with malice. Their throat is an open grave. With their tongues they tell lies. While, as noted before, this psalm does not provide us with much of an exact context behind its conception, it would appear that David is being hurt by the throat and tongues of evil people. Or put simply, he is being hurt by the words of others. Have you ever been hurt by the words of others? Perhaps it was a lie told to you or about you. Perhaps it was made up rumors or gossip about you. Or perhaps it was just mean and hurtful words directed towards you. I think that we can all confidently say that we have been hurt by the words of others at one point or another. Words can destroy lives, friendships, and families. Words can cause wars and bloodshed. Words are very powerful and they can hurt a lot. God's word says a lot about the power of words. Proverbs chapter 18 verse 21. The tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit. Proverbs chapter 12 verse 18. The words of the reckless pierce like swords, but the tongue of the wise brings healing. James chapter 1 verse 26. Those who consider themselves religious and yet do not keep a tight rein on their tongues deceive themselves, and their religion is worthless. I could go on, but I think the message is clear. We as God's people need to learn to control our words and use them for good and to build each other up. So back to David. What was his response to these evil people? Well, you may have already guessed it. He called on God for help in prayer. But when and how? Psalm 5 is described by some as a morning psalm. In verse 3, it states, "In the morning, Lord, you hear my voice. In the morning I lay my requests before you and wait expectantly." Accordingly, some believe that this psalm is David's morning prayer to God. Whether or not this psalm was written in the morning, it does provide us with an important example of faith and reliance on God. Life can be stressful and tough, and it can be easy to start off your day stressing and worrying about all that you need to do, and over the possibility of something happening or you resume your worries from the day before, letting that stress consume you. But that is not what David does in this psalm. Instead, he starts off his day in prayer and petition. He calls on God and waits expectantly for his help. Let me say that again. He waits expectantly on God for his help. A lot of believers pray, but I think that at the same time, a lot of believers pray doubtfully. They pray for healing and protection, yet in their heart, they lack faith and they continue to worry and to try solve their problems on their own. I know that I am guilty of doing this at times. King David finishes off this psalm in praise, and he reminds us that those who take refuge in God will be glad and will sing for joy and rejoice. He states, "Surely, Lord, you bless the righteous. You surround them with your favor as with a shield." So, next time you are caught in a bad situation, whether that be due to others speaking poorly about you, or perhaps you heard some bad news at work or within your family, instead of stressing about it day upon day, why don't you start your day off in prayer and wait expectantly on God to answer? So that's it from me today. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please consider hitting that like button and sharing this video with someone you think who may benefit from it. Please also consider subscribing for more videos on the Psalms and how they can apply to our lives today. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, stay safe and keep that faith.